Developing social and emotional health, improving learning outcomes for primary school students. Children who are mentally healthy are better equipped to meet life's challenges. Unfortunately, many mental health problems experienced by young people have a chronic course, and if not addressed, they are at risk of continuing into adult life. Research has shown that 14% of Australian children and adolescents have mental health problems. Evidence suggests that nearly half of all mental health problems begin before the age of 14, situating primary school educators in a highly influential position. The most common problems experienced are behavioral issues, attention problems, and aggressive tendencies. It has been found that children from broken homes and whose family are living in low-income conditions have a tendency to externalize these issues. However, it's important to note that many children with poor mental health may not necessarily exhibit these signs. In fact, the opposite could occur. Students could be withdrawn, lack confidence and self-esteem, which are all potential indicators of poor mental health. Regardless, there is one common thread in all these issues, and that is that children with mental health problems have a poorer quality of life. As a beginning teacher, I recognize the impact that poor social and emotional health has in relation to student learning, and the importance of intervention in primary school settings. Research by Blake, Bird, and Gerlach reports that there is a significant relationship between the poor academic achievement and poor mental health of students. In short, how could they be expected to learn anything when they are struggling to deal with the stresses of daily life? Ware states that the brain shuts down and creates barriers to learning if these issues of stress and anxiety are not managed effectively. Students who have poor mental health also exhibit behavioral issues in the classroom, which need to be managed by the teacher. There is a bigger concern at the heart of this issue, and that is one of social justice and creating equity in education. Wendy Cumming Potvin describes social justice as social and civic responsibilities, a commitment to promoting the common good while seeking to address inequities and injustices all around us. This definition can be applied to the issue of student health. As a result of challenges in the home or in the school, these students are significantly disadvantaged in how they learn. Equity encompasses the need to meet everyone's learning requirements, including those students who require support to improve their emotional and social development. We can also view this issue with a social justice lens, a framework created by the British Columbia Teachers Federation to help activate social change in our classrooms. Advocacy is of particular relevance. This can be described as a deliberate process of influencing outcomes so that change can occur. It requires a set of skills that allows a person to understand a problem and effect change using varied strategies and tactics. These issues link to the Professional Standards 1.1 and 1.2, which is concerned with understanding students' physical, social, and intellectual development and how these issues impact on their learning. Also, Standard 4 is certainly relevant, as creating a supportive and safe learning environment is key when assisting students to overcome personal challenges and adversity. Emotional health incorporates a variety of areas. Put simply, it's about how you feel inside, about balancing emotions and having control of them, self-esteem and confidence, about being comfortable with who you are, and also about coping with feelings and your bounce-back ability, in other words, your resilience. Daniel Goleman has certainly pioneered the way with his ideas on emotional intelligence, where he talks about it being a key catalyst for leadership. He states that emotional intelligence is a different way of being smart. His thoughts also links into the works of Howard Gardner, who opposes traditional views of IQ in support of his theory on multiple intelligences. Economist James Heckman echoes these views and suggests that cognition and character work together simultaneously and are the essential ingredients required for success. He states that while important, cognitive abilities alone are not as powerful as a package of cognitive skills and social skills defined as attentiveness, perseverance, impulse, control, and sociability. We can see the importance of these issues emerging from the Australian curriculum, where personal and social capability is one of the 7 general capabilities being targeted in Australian schools. When thinking about students' emotional well-being, we can begin to understand its importance by viewing Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Research by Maslow suggests that people are motivated to achieve certain needs in their lives. He says we cannot move beyond the levels until those needs are met in some form or another. This theory can be applied to students' motivations in the classroom, where teachers can play a part in fulfilling their needs, particularly in the areas mentioned here. In the fulfillment of such needs, K. can suggest that the teacher's role is to create a trusting, safe environment in which students are able to explore the issues troubling them. To be able to address the issues affecting our students, we must first gain an understanding of what these problems are. Of course, in primary schools, given the age range of students, the issues do vary. Younger students from K to 2 can experience anxiety and stress from separation from parents, family breakdowns, or unfamiliar situations. You can see their fears are considerably different to the older students who, as they approach adolescence, face issues of body image, family conflict, and various social concerns. While the issues are varied, the underlying theme here is that students don't appear to have the coping strategies required to deal with difficult situations, and also how to manage their emotions effectively. It's been suggested that there are two key things that educators can do to help students overcome adversity. One is broadening the range of emotions they can recognize and regulate, and two is extending the range of thinking options, choices, and behavioral strategies the student can use in recognition of these emotions. This leads us on to social emotional learning, SEL, which is the explicit teaching of life skills. These have been the findings from Kassel, who implemented an SEL program resulting in significant gains. They found that through explicit teaching of life skills, they found improved attitudes and behaviors, greater motivation to learn resulting in improved academic performance, improved relationships with peers and teachers, a deeper connection to their school and community. Similar SEL evidence-based programs are being implemented in Australian schools. Kids Matter, for instance, is one such program. They claim that while a solid framework for implementing SEL learning in schools is important, it should be done combined with a whole school approach and collaborative partnerships with parents. Unfortunately, the subject of social and emotional development in schools, while important, it may not rate highly on the educational radar. Jennings and Greenberg discuss these issues often falling down the list of educational priorities, often behind literacy and maths. They also discuss that teachers can view the subject as creating additional workload, claiming that it's one more thing we have to teach in an already crowded curriculum. Doll and Lyon oppose these views by stating that there are many ways to incorporate life skills into the classroom, which requires no additional lesson planning. They also go on to say that educators are ideally placed to promote mental health, well-being, and resilience among children, as they have frequent contact with children at a time when their social, emotional, physical, and mental development is most malleable. Nicholson discusses his views about parent responsibility and suggests that supportive strategies by the teacher should only be implemented when students have a temporary crisis of confidence. Helen Cahill from the University of Melbourne suggests that it's at school where students get the most opportunities to interact with others and build relationships. Therefore, it's only natural that the schools get involved in these issues. In light of this research, I've devised a plan with timeframes with the aim of improving the social and emotional health of students in my classroom. This plan is designed for students in the middle primary grades of an urban school setting, students who are 8 to 10 years old. Key strategies include creating a culture of belonging in my classroom, encouraging positive and respectful relationships, developing social and emotional understanding, explicit teaching, coping strategies, creating positive partnerships with parents, and working collaboratively with the school to support kids at risk. These strategies will overlap in many areas. I have chosen strategies 1 and 2 because they can be easily implemented in the classroom with limited resources. One of the biggest concerns resulting from the research was the perceived time it takes to implement planning. However, with strategy 1 and 2, this requires no extra work by the teacher. It's all about the little things we can do to create that positive classroom culture. I chose strategy 3 and 4 to provide students with more targeted support in the areas where they need it. This includes a teaching block, which easily can be integrated with other curriculum areas such as drama and literacy. I chose strategy 5 because it's important a safety net is created to capture those students who are having extreme difficulties and referred for extra support. In linking to Maslow's hierarchy of needs, I aim to create a culture of belonging in my classroom. I will implement a class reward system for positive behaviour, which focuses on positive role models who make good choices. Instead of individual rewards, I will create an overall class goal which increases the responsibility of students and facilitates good decision making. Secondly, I aim to involve students more in class decisions within guidelines, which increases their sense of autonomy. I believe it is important to focus on students' strengths as well, with at least one designated weekly activity which builds self-esteem and confidence issues. This could take the form of a class project where each student gets to contribute something improving their sense of belonging. Finally, I believe assigning each student with a job can improve their sense of responsibility and also builds that culture of connectedness. These jobs can also be changed weekly. For strategy 2, I think it's important for students to build healthy relationships with their peers and their teachers. To facilitate this in the classroom, I will provide explicit teaching of how students can interact respectfully with other students, for instance, providing constructive comments and feedback. I will display a checklist for positive behaviour so students can easily refer to this in group and class interactions. This also serves as a continuous reminder for expectations of behaviour. Students also need a chance to practice skills, so providing multiple opportunities for group work in the classroom is essential. Using cooperative games that develop trust and team building skills can easily be incorporated into daily routines and even serve as lesson breakers. I believe it's important for students to reflect on teamwork as well, to identify areas for improvement. Teacher modelling of appropriate behaviours is also very important, as students will pick up on these behaviours. They can be as simple as using manners or even not engaging in an argument with the student, using other tactics such as ignoring or walking away. Research has suggested that students need support in identifying emotions and feelings in order to better understand how to deal with them. Circle time is an activity I'll implement which involves students facing each other, creating an open forum for discussion of issues. These issues could range from class-based to community issues. The purpose is for students to explore thoughts, ideas and feelings and understanding different viewpoints. This could be a great activity to discuss relevant school matters such as bullying or feelings about transitioning into high school. In implementing this activity, it's important that I discuss the rules with students, such as listening, allowing one person to speak at a time, while also letting students know that it's okay if they don't want to share anything. This exercise allows students to develop emotional intelligence, self-awareness, while creating a supportive and caring learning environment. To facilitate this activity, I'll need to seek guidance from the principal and school counsellor to ensure I'm best prepared and able to deal with the issues confidently. Strategy 4. Research suggested that the key to helping students is to extend their range of thinking options, choices, and behavioural strategies. With this in mind, part of my strategy is to explicitly teach students how to cope with the many issues affecting them and build their resilience. This will happen in a 4-week block using content from the Kids Matter Bounce Back program. I intend to activate students' prior knowledge of their own feelings and difficult situations they may have encountered. Over the course of the block, students will engage in activities on positive talk, being optimistic and facing fears. Role-playing will also be used in drama, where students can begin to model the thinking strategies and behavioural choices that have been taught to them. I will integrate these themes into literacy practices as well by using stories that focus on brave characters, family breakdowns and friendship issues. All these activities build on students' understanding of emotions and how to deal with them effectively. Students will end with a personal reflection. The resources required will be selected text within the theme content from the Kids Matter program, where I'll have to seek approval with a written justification to the principal. The last part of my plan captures those students at risk of developing serious problems which could carry on into their adult life. Indicators of poor social and emotional health can be seen on this slide. The strategies I will undertake to ensure these students get the support they need is to collect data in relation to their attendance, observational records, enrolment information, behaviour reports, and also academic data such as their literacy and numeracy levels. Working in partnership with the school is very important to ensure students are receiving adequate support in the areas where they need it. This involves communication with the school counsellor, specialists, and also other teaching staff who may be in contact with the student. Developing a positive and trusting relationship with the parents and carers is also essential to ensure the student is receiving support from all areas. This could involve regular weekly updates to see how the student is travelling and also making the parent aware of the support services available to them. To monitor the effectiveness of this program, I intend to observe the students in their teamwork, cooperation, and interactions with each other, and also their engagement in the class activities. I also intend to keep written evaluations of how the program is going, as they will be important in determining its effectiveness. I'll also be undertaking a personal critical reflection where I will need to consider the adjustments to my content and pedagogical strategies. It's also important to do this so I can identify my own skills and knowledge gaps in these areas. At the end of the unit, I also think it's important to be brave enough to seek feedback from students, as this will be a major indicator if their needs have been met or not. In regards to the strengths of this program, I feel the simple activities which can easily be implemented in the classroom with limited costs and high returns, and that being increased academic achievement, healthy minds, and positive students. Themes can easily be integrated across curriculum areas such as drama, literacy, and health and physical education. This program also supports the Australian curriculum's general capabilities. Finally, this program builds students' confidence, self-esteem, resilience, and equips students with the strategies to overcome adversity. Time restraints are a factor when implementing this plan. While many of the activities can overlap into other curriculum areas, time definitely needs to be set aside for the preparation of activities, and often other school priorities come first. In addition, there is a cost for the SEL content, which will need to be justified to the principal. One of the drawbacks of the circle exercise is the potential for the activity to turn into a blaming exercise or using names. Students could also bring up very personal and sensitive issues, which could lead into matters of confidentiality. I think to combat these issues, I need to be very explicit about the rules while also keeping the tone somewhat positive and constructive. I'm also expecting students to be quite reluctant in the first circle session, as it often takes students a while to open up. There are so many opportunities that exist for students. These include improved academic achievement, improved attitudes and behaviours, and improved relationships with peers and teachers. For teachers in the school, the potential to activate change and build a healthy social and emotional climate for students, and improving students' connection to the school and community. For me, developing a deeper understanding of the issues affecting students' well-being is an opportunity, as is the opportunity for professional development and to grow as a teacher. The potential threats to implementing this plan could be the lack of support from the school, for instance with where the issue sits in terms of educational priority, and also the amount of time, planning and resources involved in enacting a plan such as this. Another viewpoint from the school could be the breaches of privacy and confidentiality resulting in some of the activities, which could potentially damage some of the relationship with the parents. Another issue could be teacher training. Considering the complexity of some of the issues affecting students, I may need to undertake some professional development. Another area that could be a potential threat is that of parent support, particularly in identifying at-risk students. Often parents could be part of the problem, therefore it could be quite difficult to engage with them. Socioeconomic factors could also play a part, and often low-income households don't have the money or resources to seek help, or they may not see the issue as a priority. On reflection, I feel very enlightened about issues of social and emotional health and surprised at some of the findings, especially the age in which students develop mental health issues. This places myself in a prime position to support students in primary school with their mental health and ultimately lead the way in creating change for generations to come. I feel the action research cycle was very effective in devising a plan to combat the issue of poor social and emotional health resulting directly from the research. The flexibility of this method, I feel, allows for a more targeted approach conducive to the needs of the specific issue at hand. It also allows for a deeper analysis of unexpected issues that you may want to pursue further. Reflection is critical to the success of any plan, and it allows us to look deeper into the issues which affect our teaching and student learning. Reflective practice is also a significant part of professional growth. Brookfield reiterates this point by saying the most important aspect to excellent critical practice involves going beyond the collection of feedback from self, students, peer, or scholarly lenses by altering teaching methods, documenting those changes, and any progress towards goals, and becoming a student-centered, flexible, and innovative teacher. Thank you.